PSO's CO calculation of the first year curriculum is same as what has been told to EE people for the last 3-4 days. So in first year, basically the visiting team will see physics, chemistry, math and English. They are the 4 dominant subjects which are evaluated in the first year. So when they go to your course file, a physics course file will be evaluated in the same way it has been done for electrical engineering or civil engineering, or like yesterday you were seeing that civil engineering people were presenting their CO, PO, PSO's calculation, attainment. Exactly you have to follow that way. So the structure of the file, which I have already told you, indexing, then curriculum, followed by your course plan, methodology of implementation of the course plan, timeline, questions, assessment, methodology, all these things are to be part of your file. Finally, the analysis, then after evaluation, the feedback analysis, and analysis based on this, what is the decision which is coming, then the corrective measures. All those things are to be strategically listed in your that particular documented file. So for example, physics 101, PHY 101, this you are teaching this time for this year. Next year another faculty is teaching. So you may create separate file, but it is better to go with a single. Even if you are creating separate file, you should create in such a way that the gaps of this file is taken care in your file. So when you present in front of the expert, you say, sir, this is the assessment year M1, this is the assessment, current assessment year. So I am teaching for the current assessment year. So I have taken care of the all these gaps or the remedial things in this. So I have already taken care of those things. So we have improved upon that. So that is a better continuity rather than just in silo, showing your own file and forgetting about the past file. Because the previous faculty might have taken really good steps, some benchmarking steps, some exemplary steps. You should not ignore those things. So basically, it is intended that all best practices are accumulated. Even if you are a new course teacher, you have taken care of those best practices which were existing or which were followed in your department. Then as a physics teacher, as a maths teacher, as a chemistry teacher, sometimes your first year curriculum doesn't permit to teach certain things, even though you know these are all applied things required in engineering scenario. But your curriculum of the MECAU doesn't permit that. Then you have a scope in the laboratory, you have a scope in the tutorial, you have the scope in assignment, you have a scope in beyond syllabus approach, you have a scope for self-learning. So that is the way you must try to take care of the gaps and put your extra efforts, sometimes by you, sometimes forcing the student to learn from the different sources, going for a self-learning approach, so that those components can be shown to the visiting expert team that we realized. For example, in mathematics you teach Laplace transformation, you teach Fourier series, but you teach Fourier series like a mathematics series, a time series, you teach that. But when it comes to a communication class like us, if we teach this communication engineering, Fourier series, Laplace, these are our fundamental mathematical tools required to explain that class. But when we just simply go with the coefficient, power of the coefficient is that, it doesn't suffice. They don't know how to apply this A, B, this, that time series there. So somewhere, if in a mathematics class you have given that hints while teaching, you know that Fourier series is used in electrical engineering, electronics engineering, even all engineering department, they use that. So if you can give some example, like, or if you are unable to give that example, give one example, give the self-study approach. Civil engineering, you read one application of this. Electrical, you read one application of this. Electronics, you read one application of this. And sometimes you can ask them to present that. So as mathematics teacher, you know which are the mathematics tools more frequently used in engineering applications. Not necessarily all, like calculus. Calculus, they know how to go for the calculus calculations. In matrix also they do, plus 2 also they do, also in your first year you are teaching. So more or less they have a fair knowledge of that. But when it comes to Fourier series, Laplace, all those transform, which are frequently used in engineering classes, there they have the problem. So therefore, higher engineering mathematics, when they entered, they fail. So somewhere you have to curate that, which are the component needs extra efforts. You must note down that these things they have already studied in 3 stages. So therefore my efforts on this will be less. But they have not studied these things, whereas in higher engineering math or higher engineering application they will be needing it. So let me, stochastic theories, probabilistic, random process, these are maths which are extensively used as you enter into the higher engineering applications. So somewhere you as a teacher, you have to really create a boundary for that. Okay, my efforts in this will be less, these efforts will be more, because they will be going for better analysis. Like in this type of discussion, integration also comes. So once the integration is coming, it is taking care of the integral calculus which you are explaining. Differentiation also comes. So you take care of the differentiation in that way. Rather than devoting more time in differentiation or integration, which they have studied in already 3 stages, you have to devote more time in those areas and bring this differentiation integrations and tell, look, I am going for a surface integration, this is what is the way surface integration is done. I am going for a volume integration, this is what the way volume integration is done. So therefore somewhere you have to really go in a smart way to manage your time, deliver the maximum in a qualitative way, and record that in the book that my efforts was more, where I have taken care of the integration and differentiation, but I focused more on that and I showed them, because many steps of this particular application, this type of math requires a lot of integration and differentiation. So my differentiation and integration is taken care in that. So that is the way, if you can go on evolving this approach. Similarly, like in physics, prisms or the gratings theory, we go for the calculation of the grating rings in physics laboratory. But the student, they don't know where exactly you are going to use it in your engineering application. When you are talking about a refractive index analysis, if you can connect application, the electronic students will be more interested in that matter, even computer science, because OFC everybody knows that the main back. So optical fiber communications has your physics inside. Your total internal reflection, losses, attenuation, all this physics theory, full of physics theory. Engineering is less in that. But if you simply teach refractive index calculation, is that the place where they want to use, then it is difficult. So now the class doesn't permit you to talk so many applications. I am also a teacher, so I know that with a limited time you cannot talk lot of things. There comes how you really create your assignment for the different discipline. A civil engineering person cannot be talked about the OFC. So you have to create that application of OFC where in there are some laboratory experiments, they are using this type of cables. Then you give the ideas how to go for this. If you are talking about a fluid dynamics or Bernoulli's theorem, then how it is used in their fluid dynamics, you have to talk that. So therefore it is a one-time investment. Initial investment, after that it is just a value addition. So that one-time investment must have a manthan in the department. All physics teachers should sit, then decide these are the application minimum we will discuss in the class, these will give the assignment, these will give them the self-learning. Similarly, I was giving the other day example, like you might not be permitting mobile phone for them while performing the laboratory experiment. It is a standard practice everywhere. Even though we have reached 21st century, I will be talking on this 18th century, 19th century style. So, because that is the way we are going. But your students are not 18th century, 19th century or 20th century students. They are 21st century students. They will not accept you. And you take any of the university syllabus, laboratory experiments is 1 hour. 1 period is good enough to complete your laboratory experiment. So now you have 3 period labs, so other 2 periods you allow them to waste. There are institutes I have seen, they have to fill up a rough record. The rough record will be evaluated by the teacher, then they will go back, again do the fair report. So somebody will write, everybody will go on this topping business there. Or if the first year student is around, the second year student as a part of ragging will give that, ki bhai mera note sheet bana ke do. These are all practical scenario which we have come across. Now what is the need? Why you are making them to write? Where absolutely they are just seeing and writing. It is like reproducing without thinking anything. So that can be managed in the class so that your assignment they can do in hostel. They can go through the internet, browse the internet and come back. After that also if you have some time, then allow them last period of the laboratory that allow the mobile phone. Now you can use your mobile phone, the experiment which I have shown you, find out is there any different method to this experiment. Is there a different approach to do this experiment? Or find out the application paper. The electronics people will write the application in electronics, electrical people will write the application in electrical, and Google is such a vast source of something will come out. It will not be zero, let me tell you, something will come out. So in that process, they will start knowing, or indirectly you are teaching them how to search different papers, how to read different papers and reproduce a paragraph of your understanding in there. So sometimes the understanding may not be matching at all with your type of things. So in that case, you'll give comment, no, this particular paper is talking about this, what you have written is not correct. So this is also pushing them towards technical paper reading, understanding the technical paper, writing a summary sheet or abstract for you in 50 words, and 50 words you can evaluate it anytime. So that is a value addition which you are showing to. I went to one of the institute where one of the physics teacher was very good, and he is basically his specialization was solid state physics. So he was very good at programming as well as components. So he was IoT device with Android. He was connecting. Physics lab experiment is connecting some component and getting the IoT Android interface to that. Though it was not a curriculum, but somehow he has connected that physics experiment and its application in a Android's app, and the students are very happy to really perform. I really appreciated that person, but unfortunately in that process he had neglected his physics lab. Your primary things should not be neglected. That is what I told you, your lab objective was physics. You missed that, fully Android programming, because when we asked for the physics record, they were unable to show us. But they were showing the Android programming records to us. So I told this is a value addition, very strong value addition to what concept, because we have also physics background. So I could see that he has really created a lot of great value addition to that, but neglected the primary one. Primary one cannot be neglected. Therefore, your 1 period or 1.5 period, you focused on your primary lab. That rest period when they are sitting ideal, chatting with each other, and so that you better avoid. Similarly, like you must go for support system in the first year lab. I am not coming to criteria 9 now. I am talking about the first year case. The first year students, you will find that somebody has come from township of Calcutta or Malda, and somebody has come from a very interior village which is nearer to Bangladesh border. So the location from where he has come has created a barrier for him. He is not opening up. He is not talking. He will not expose himself to you. He will be afraid of you like anything. A Calcutta town boy will not be afraid. He will be dominating. So then you have to find a way out how to help or support this type of backbenchers having knowledge, not coming up to come to the front line of the class. So therefore, generally in our teaching, you'll see that some teachers are first line focused, some teachers are last line focused. मेरा क्लास में जो लास्ट में बैठता था वो फंस जाता था. मैं माई हाइट और यह क्या पता नहीं है. आई यूज्ड टू पुट दोज पीपल स्टैंड इन एवरी क्लास. So then they could guess that this fellow only is picking up the people from the back. So they used to literally जल्दी कैसे आके फर्स्ट लाइन में बैठेंगे, वो फाइट चलता था कि मैं फर्स्ट लाइन में बैठ जाऊं, so that सर का एम थ्योरी क्वेश्चन के माइक्रो थ्योरी क्वेश्चन आंसर नहीं करना पड़ेगा. But that was a wrong thing by me. Now I realize when I am evolving as a good teacher, I realize that I was never taking care of all my students. I was just focused for the last two bench people, thinking that they are weak students, or maybe that time I was honestly was not thinking they were weak students. I was thinking that ये पीछे बैठे हैं मेरे को दिखता है तो उनको उठाओ. But somewhere you have to make a balance. So that first find out who are the good students. Try to make a peers team for them, so that the weak student should come nearer to the Calcutta boy, and you ask them to sit together, or maybe when you are grouping for an assignment, grouping them for a laboratory things, put them together, so that the induced effect, the influence of the peers will be a better mantra or better ingredients than your influence. So these are certain first time activities which you have to do. This whole semester will go in that direction. So that is the way, if you can think initially, providing the support system to the weaker students there, then after 2-3 quiz assignment when you take in 1 month time, you know in a class who is weak, who is strong. So that again a mixture. And you while individual assignment, if you can prepare, that is a good approach. So the strong students who are meritorious, their assignment level should be slightly high. Weak students should be, assignment should be low. But it is a very tedious approach. But if you can do that, that is also another thing which we look forward to. So that is the way, like you have to take care of the first years, and first year PSO, POs and COs I am not touching. This is already taught many times, so you have to do that course while ready for. So this is nothing great in the first year. It is 50 marks. I'll show you the evaluation sheet after this. Then you can see that how you can manage that score. Coming to criteria 9, which is a student support system. This is also 50 marks. But you lose absolutely a substantial amount of mark here, because mentoring system, if you talk, do you have a mentoring system in your system in GKCIT? What is that approach? What is the mentoring system?
Some students are assigned to a particular faculty.
How many students? So there is a faculty member who is assigned with 4 students or 5 students. What is the rule? Do you have a document which says that 5 students to each faculty or 10 students to each faculty? So you have a policy, the total student divided by the total number of faculty, so that the amount you get.
University का policy है, university का portal में we have to show all the data.
Fine. So now let me tell this way, like total student of first year divided by the faculty. So we are not talking first year here. It is department, institute. That is the policy which is coming. So let's say 10 students for faculty, 10 students per faculty. Then tell me what the next step you do. Let me listen to you, then I'll give my comments. Then you know what we search there. So the first step is qualified. There is a mentoring system, faculty mentoring system, 1:10. So one faculty is responsible for the 10 students. Then what is the next step?
So what we do, we arrange them as per their rank or CGPA. We arrange them. Then suppose 6 faculties are there. First 6 CGPA allocated to the 6 faculties. The next 6 CGPA again allocated to the 6 faculties.
Mic do thoda. Let the other center also listen to them. So the first year student, when they have come, second year onwards CGPA will come into picture.
Yes, sir.
First year student, how do you do?
Sir, as per their JE rank, we rank them.
Okay.
Then after that, what do we do? There are 6 faculties. Suppose you have 6 faculties. So first 6 rank allocated to the first 6 faculties.
So one to each.
Yes.
Okay.
Then second 6 rankers again to the 6 faculties.
So you make a uniform distribution of the heterogeneity in the students and it is distributed to 6 faculties.
Yes, sir.
Then after that?
Sir, so
So
accordingly
this
all the
distribution,
students are
allocation is done. This
Yes,
is good.
sir.
This approach is good. That
Sir.
all good students are not going to only one faculty.
Yes,
So
sir.
you have distributed. So it is a uniform distribution, a fair distribution you are doing. That is absolutely good step. Next.
Then we prepare one timetable for them in weekly or 15 days. On this time, you will come and meet your mentor.
Okay.
So that we do, but they do not come and meet as per their time schedule. But we provide one time schedule to them to during this schedule, you should come and meet your mentor. Then they come and as per their schedule, they come and they discuss with their mentor what are the problems they are facing in their class or in the hostels. Those things they discuss with their mentor. So, sir, accordingly this goes on.
So, yeah.
Sir, MACOUT has some fixed responsibilities for mentor also, like MAR data, mandatory additional requirement, like how the student is getting associated with community activities. And MOOCs data is also there, sir. MACOUT offers BTech honors if they complete 20 credits with MOOCs.
Extra.
So that data is also being guided by the mentor. And MR data is also there. It is like personal data of the student, the health well-being and mental well-being data of the student, that is also being collected by the mentor and sent to the university in different occasions, sir. In addition to what Kirot sir has told.
It is well-defined document. Now, these are the activities which are defined. The process of allocation is absolutely good one. Then also the activities which has been defined for the mentor also is good one. Now the challenge is collecting the data. So when you are going for collecting the data, what is the first requirement? When you are going for collecting the data, what are the requirements? One is
through the Google Drive, a student are filling.
fundamentally you first answer. Data is associated with 2 terminology. What are those terminology? Data, I am not talking about the student. When you are going for collecting the data, data has 2 important terminology associated with that. Evidence is third stage. So, the sources, but you have to collect the data from the sources, not tools. When it comes to data, tools and processes are 2 terminology which are associated, and once you are following the tools and processes, evidence is coming into picture that you have to show that we have followed. So now, once the data, the question of so many activities are coming into picture. So to get those data, you have to define the tools. Is your university has any type of this type of document which shows that these are the questionnaire or these are the standard terminology to be asked to the students to get some information?
Yes, certain degree is there.
So you have a set of questions which I said tools. You have a set of questions or tools which allows you to collect information from your student. But have you ever analyzed that and brought some modification to that at your level. So that is like a blind follower approach is not good, because you have to also read the psychology of the student. You have to put yourself in their position, so there some add-on tools should be added to that. So you can very well tell this is given by our university, but in our department we decided that since our students are more from the remote areas, more from the northeast, so therefore these are additional tools or the data retrieving approach or methods are required. So you have to define that and you have to note it down. But before going for the students performance index, do you take a pre-performance index of the students? Like we take the, when they come to you in the first year itself, we take the database of theirs, because you are having a raw. So at what stage the raw stands, that pre-monitoring or pre-mentoring or pre-counseling data do we have? Do we collect that pre-mentoring data? If not, better you create that. Create a set of tools. When the students they enter to your institutes in the first year, you might be taking many information from them during the induction program. So you take this data, and these data should be mixed, their personal strength, their family strength, their educational things background, the location from their communication skill, whether they are good at Bengali, good at Hindi, good at English, all those things, so that you you have to create 4-part approach minimum to get a holistic background information of the candidate. So that is a statistic which should be with you. After 1 month of their mentoring under you, then take a semester exit part response of those parameters. Then you compare that which of the parameters are really boosted much, like he might not be knowing English, but now he is talking in English. So those parameters should be, again, you have to evaluate at the end of the semester. So once you evaluate that, then you have a fair information that where you have to focus for this boy or this girl. So that is the way. If you go for a gradual monitoring, mentor is like not only in the first year I will touch, second year I will not touch. This should not be. So when you hand over this mentorship to the branch teacher, there should not be a disjoint. There should be a personal touch that I had mentored this boy, how is he performing? जब आपका दोस्त को इलेक्ट्रिकल में मिलोगे, this faculty should be asked, यार वो Ashok, how is Ashok performing? He had a very meritorious background, but his family was not good, financially poor, so how is performing? Is there a support system for that? So these are the counseling efforts which are to be monitored, listed, and now there are many tools you can graphically really observe them. Or maybe computer science people can create a dashboard. Even if I hand over this candidate to the respective branch, I will be in a position to see if there is. Another thing is mentoring is not a theoretical approach. There is a personal chemistry attached with that. So if this boy is attached with him in the first year more personally, even if he is handed over to a electrical faculty or electronics faculty, whenever he will get chance, he will come back to this same teacher in the first year, will ask, sir, mera aise problem ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai, can you listen to me? And you get a personal chemistry or bonding with that. So this bonding sometimes officially may not be permissible to you, but your dashboard will permit that. Looking into that performance or those type of tools, you can sometimes call him or call her that, look, your performance is deteriorating. Why you are deteriorating? ये programming language में क्या बड़ा बात है? Why you are getting less scores? So that is the way somewhere. This is a social service you say, or a our faculty service you say, but these are the things required, and you should have a tool-based system or a automation system to take care of that. Therefore, the computer science department, whenever you are giving any project or you must take care of this thing, maybe you can think of this way. My approach when I was heading the institute, I realized that academicians cannot give a professional product which is marketable. I may be wrong, but so far nobody has convinced me that it is possible. So my approach used to that academicians have lot of information to give a better framework than a company person. Company person is a narrow thinking person, but our framework is very vast. We can really put lot of branches in that. So create the framework, create the total flow diagram for you. In computer language, what is that called? Coding se pehle jo not flow chart. There is software development में एक terminology है. Data flow diagram तो very technically you are telling, but there is huh? Yeah. UML somehow, but I am just forgetting the terminology. We generally use that. That gives a complete insight how your architecture will look and how your framework parameters will come into picture. What are the components will be considered on that. Once you seal it, then the coding start. Yes. So that is a requirement. So that academicians are good. Company people will fail that. So once you do it, then if there is somebody who is working in a small company here, or he has started a startup or doing some coding, ask them, let's develop this. For example, ERP using the module. You can do it. I'm not telling that faculty members cannot do that. But if you want to make it a commercial approach to that, these people know how to package that. So then you deal with them that we are your academic consultant. So for my institute it is free. I'll be using this free of cost. But when you sell outside, we'll also do marketing for you. Then my quota is 20%, yours is 80%. So as a government institute, when you are advocating for some product, it is easily sellable. As a government institute like your director, if he is convinced with that product, he can talk to me that you can take care, this is a good product, you can have a look to that. So that's the way you can think of bringing company interface with you, and when this company is working for you, your final year student can be part of that workforce. So they can be part of that project. So that's the way you can connect this type of approach. So this type database, which the support system requires a lot of this dashboard approach, you can think of. And the normal dashboard of industry doesn't work for us. We have to pay more, but it doesn't really meet many of our components requirement because they are industry specific. But if you can design an academic way of dashboard, this is acceptable by many people, especially the polytechnic system. They are looking forward to this type of support system. In my institute, I tried, but I didn't succeed. These 3 companies who came here, they were thinking that within 6 months time they will earn crores of rupees, because the mentality in that side is different. They want overnight crores of rupees. But academics is a gradual process, and it will be successful in place like yours, let me tell you. Similarly, by civil engineering people, they have designed one waste management system. It has come set in your, and they have not delivered, so okay. But in Palampur University, they have supplied.
We asked for us to go and inspect it outside, so they said.
Actually, that.
Conditions don't permit, so we cannot.
And that's fine. Actually, once after I left the chair, the support which they are supposed to get, there is some issues. There is but these are the approach where you can bring in the company. The product is free for you. You can use that. But once it is sold, our variation was 10 to 30%. as academician, we used to take 10 to 30% depending on the, like one of the things which we are about to sell to your organization, which now this company is not in a position to support that. 10% was for institute. It was a 50 lakhs rupees 1 ton waste management system. You can put any waste in place like Chandigarh. This that if you don't separate the waste, dry waste and wet waste, then you are fined. The kuda wala will not take the kuda from your house. They will fine that also. But we created a system where everything you can dump, even metal, glass, anything you can dump in that system. The system will separate that. Because in our Indian system, household wives or the house, they don't have that culture of, this is a sabji of kitchen products, let me put in this basket, this is a plastic bottle, I'll put in this basket. That culture has not come in this place so far. So, to take care of that, we created that, and a platinum blade is there, they have some technology inside. So the condition with that company was that starting from buying the components, fabricating the component, installing the component, servicing the things, maintaining the AMC also, it is whole responsibility is yours. It's, so 10% will take 5 lakhs rupees just to, if such machines you sell 1 crore rupees you are getting it. And especially now the country is the way they are looking forward to this type of system, easily they can undo without doing initial academic strength has come. So therefore what I suggest, this type of support system, let me tell you, requires a better dashboard to show. So record based counseling or mentoring will not be a very appreciable thing. You have to go for the online approach where your director, your HOD, your coordinators are also seeing that you are performing the job. Now this one of you told they don't come. That is your failure. If the student is not coming to the mentor, if the student is not coming to the counselor, that means that is a failure system. So maybe it is a force initially or a timetable initially, but your one-to interaction with him should drive that he will be eager to meet you. But if you are fixing like a officer that visiting hours is 2 to 3, and that is not. Academicians doesn't have this type of restriction time. And you also don't have a restriction like I only will see the people from 3 to 4. Then it is too structured. Mentoring, counseling doesn't work in a very structured type of approach. You may have a timetable to show to the visiting team, but your approach should be flexible. So whenever he is coming or she is coming, you should be in a position to give time. If you are not going for a class or not preparing for a class, or you are not assigned with some very important work to do. So therefore somewhere the personal chemistry touching upon to the student is a very much required at this stage, especially giving them the direction for their career, giving them the right kind of, like many of the students, they don't appear forget. But if you ask, I want to join Coal India, I want to join Cell, I want to join NTPC, the very fundamental requirement of getting shortlisted to appear for the written test there is get. But when this thing is known to him in the final year, it doesn't have much time to explore. But if he is fed from the beginning, look, if you do this, these are the public sector or the this Ratna companies who will give you big salaries. Also, this will help you to Indian engineering service, because this preparation also is a support or complementary system for Indian engineering service. So somewhere if you can give this type of counseling from the beginning, and also you can tell, look, these are the things which are available in the website. If you pay 20 rupees per test, 40 test you go, 800 rupees you spend, you go for the 40 test, appear in the test. Somewhere this will go with a practice for you. So there are many such sites available who can be accessed by these students, and they can take advantage of that. Only thing is that they are not aware of. You have to really come up to that level, or as a mentor or counselor, you ask the respective department, भाई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में गेट करने के लिए क्या क्या ऑप्शन हो सकता है मुझे बताओ. So somewhere your role is very important, especially when you are going for this mentoring approach. I suggest that you really strengthen this system. Mark the word this NBA asks for. It is not efficiency. It is efficacy is studied here. We see that whether you have a record of efficacy, you have really recorded the efficacy or not. Efficacy word frequently used during the COVID time. इस जो वैक्सीन ले रहे हो इसका efficacy कितना है, वो efficiency पूछा नहीं जाता था उधर, efficacy पूछा जाता था. So remember, this is like a vaccine dose. Therefore, the efficacy also to be listed. It has to be displayed after your mentoring sessions.
Sir, our institute also has it takes services from another company, your person. It is online and the students are anonymous there. They remain anonymous. So they can connect to the professional counselor through this net. 6 months they prepare the report. What are the different areas on which the students need the counseling? So one is the relationship, one is this career counseling, then another is for depression like this, and they give tabular reports in terms of bar diagrams. So they have how many percentage of students have gone for career counseling like this. So we have in our institute a third party system who actually manages these mental health also.
And this is good. In fact, if you have a professional psychologist to handle this, because this type of third party people, they really hire the psychologist to take care of this thing, and they are better counselor because they have a better tools system with them. But they keep these things secret. You cannot really see the student name, this, that, there.
Yes, yes.
So, but this is a really a strong value added for you. But remember one thing. The person who is in depression, which is a common scenario now seen in the first year, second year phenomena, complexity they develop. So when they are going for a depression, a third party cannot really help him because over the phone how much counseling is possible. So therefore there should be some person associated. Suppose a girl is going through the depression, then the most popular lady faculty of the institute can be in touch with that third party, so that the local support or the local counseling can be given to her through maximum through the third party, but that minimum thing which requires a personal touch, even like the doctor जब आपका हाथ का नाड़ी पकड़ता है, you see half of your diseases, you think that he knows. So that is a feelings which you have to create. This is a very different type of environment, and this environment needs to be created. अब हमारा जो this culture of Rusikul culture, if you see, this Rusi Sandipan had Sudama as well as Bhagavan Krishna. Both used to go for भिक्षा लेके आने से देंगे, गुरु माता खाना बनाएगा, फिर जाके आगे बढ़ेगा. So even भगवान भी subject who is not competent to teach that subject. So based on his student's performance, you rate him. Let's say I am a person from communication system. If you ask me to teach VLSI, I will be a measurable failure because the connectivity is not there. But since I am doing a job, so I have to read, I have to do justice for that. So I am say experts who is taking care in final year. So second year, third year VLSI subject you have done to a communication person. But is this final year VLSI experts is helping to build the foundation for him? He is struggling, but he has not understood the subject well. So those type of things are to be taken care in the corrective measures. That not only students corrective measure you are taking care, students improvement you are not just simply taking care, you are also taking care for the faculty who is struggling to. So they are those things are to be, the corrective actions are to be defined in a central way. It should be decided from the center involving the department, and it should be told to the faculty member, these are the our corrective measures which will be following. In addition to this, if you have some extra, is also. Only keep your potential strength on those areas where you know as a teacher that my personal intervention is required. There are certain sections which can be left to them for self-learning. There are certain sections which can be given as assignment to, for a self-learning approach to do that. So, and some additional beyond syllabus learning also, you can give them for self-learning. Like I was giving an example, application of your physics experiment. That is a self-learning approach, you are pushing him. In that way, he will know it. Now, simply if he is learning, if you are not taking a test, you are not giving him a credit, he may neglect that. So your quiz, the self-learning part, in our MIT's curriculum style, if you see supervised learning, guided learning, then exact word I am not getting, but monitored learning. Like classroom is a monitored learning. You are monitoring and asking them. But project is a guided. Supervise is laboratory. You are supervising, they are doing it. Project you just behave like a guide. Kalana. Weekly twice you met me. So that's that. So these methods are to be followed. So self-learning you can put in various category, but do give some what is in your quiz assignment marks. So if you are putting 10 questions, at least 2 questions from the self-learning, so that the student they know कि ये teacher सिर्फ हमको दिया है और दिखेगा नहीं, ऐसे नहीं होना है. So that is the self-learning also is very important, and this is the place where we see for self-learning what is the support system you have given. Did you prepare a better instructional material and upload it to your website? Did you create a LMS where they are in a position to test themselves? Did you have a CMS for yourself where the course material are curated and is kept so that they can access from any internet source and see to that? Did you create a YouTube channel? If nothing is that, did you create a YouTube channel of yours from where they can read? Now you people are asking for PPT, this, that. I am not going to give that. This material will be in your NCTL channel. You have to access that and get it from that channel. So it has two meaning. My channel will have a better hits. So my institute popularity will go up, and you will also have access from this particular thing from any places. If I give you material, this pen drive will drop somewhere, or you may keep the file for sometimes, then after 1 year you will be searching where is the material. Whereas this channel always will be there and you can see that. So therefore, now you don't have a mood to see this slide, you will not. But in midnight it comes to your नींद नहीं आ रहा है, let me क्या वो पटनायक क्या बकबक करके गया था, let me see this. तो वो तो भी that is also you can browse that time. So though these flexibility platforms are available, so you must provide the flexibility platform to be used so that your self-learning can be justified. Simply 1, 2 things if you are showing, you are one among many. Sorry, you are one of the many. But if you want to one among many, then there has to be some innovation approach. Innovative way you have to do it. Career guidance and training. We leave it to the training and placement people. And this poor training and placer, given 1 mark in his hand to take care of the student. So even if he is conducting training, the student will not attend this. So why can't we assign that this particular training, you faculty member, he discusses with you, you decide that this training has a better requirement for the department, and you tell that for this training, at the end of the training, this quiz will be conducted, and this quiz will have 5 marks. And the training and placement officer will give this mark. What will happen? The training and placement officer is accepted well. Institute like yours, you might not be having a training and placement officer. You, department faculty, becomes the training and placement officer. So then you can control, because subject भी तो हाथ में है. But when it is pure, but you will not be a dedicated man to contact many companies. There is a professionalism required to approach companies and go for the professional training for your students, which you will not be doing. You will be doing in a conventional teacher way. So that will also not help to go for a good job. So somewhere this training and career guidance, training and placement officer will do. At the same time, you must also have to play a role. In your class, sometimes when you finish the class early, rather than leaving the class, at least 5-7 minutes, talk to them. You have seen the world. Bring the world in front of them. When you tell to them, because you have already finished the class 20 minutes before, so just devote in giving the career guidance. Like electrical engineering, you don't have sufficient job now. I am giving one example, I am not telling that. So you can very well tell, ki, look, coding is no more is a only computer science job. Coding anybody can do, so Python is a requirement. So why don't you go for a Python learning? सीखो इसको, computer science student से पूछो, तुम्हारा friend से पूछो, and you will see that you will get a job. At least the core company is not hiring, they are saturated now, but you can really go to software company, and software company again you can jump. So kahin na kahin you have to give the proper type of this career guidance to these students. Sometimes you will see that the students are confused what they have to do, because in first year it has also happened with you and me also. हमारा वो जो विक्रमादित्य वाला ज्ञान आता है 4th ईयर में जाके, और तब पीछे देखते हैं कि ना मैं गेट प्रिपरेशन कर पाया, ना कैट प्रिपरेशन कर पाया, ना जीआरई कर पाया. सो चलो फ्लो में जो मिल गया निकल जाओ नदी में, वो जो बिना कात वाला नौका में बैठ जाओ और किनारा कोई लगा दिया तो लगा दिया, डूब गया तो डूब गया, बस वही हाल होता है. ये नहीं होना चाहिए. Somewhere you have to be a not big lighthouse, at least small lighthouse for our students. And they don't listen to their parents. आप अपना घर में अगर आपका बड़ा भाई का बेटा होगा तो देखा होगा, they don't listen to the parents. This generation, they have lot of respect. Like in my house, I'll share my personal experience. My son is in electronics communication engineering final year. He is almost a university topper. वो 4 years में 14 times शायद मुझे कुछ पूछा होगा, even less than 14 times. वो उस टाइम पूछता है जब उसका डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट है, एग्जाम को जाने के लिए रेडी हो रहा है, पापा थोड़ा इसका कंसेप्ट बता दोगे क्या, ये बात करता मेरे से. तो देन आई यूज्ड टू टेल समथिंग, देन एक वर्ड बोलेगा, वो सब टीचर क्यों आपका जैसे नहीं बनाए. तो मैं एक बात बोलता था कि यार तेरा फादर इतना एजेड हो गया ना, वो भी जब मेरा एज में आ जाएंगे हो जाएगा, करके मैं छोड़ देता था उसको. सो नोइंग दैट आई हैव ए स्ट्रेंथ इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कम्युनिकेशन इंजीनियरिंग, यू आर इन माई ब्रांच, कभी ऐसे फॉर्मली आके कि पापा ये मुझे थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन कर दो, ये कर दो. जब देखो कोर्स एरा से पढ़ रहा है, नहीं तो एनपीटीएल से पढ़ रहा है. अगर उसका फैकल्टी अच्छा से पढ़ा है तो उसको देख के फिर एनपीटीएल देख रहा है, अदरवाइज टोटली फैकल्टी का नोट साइट, एनपीटीएल का वो आईआईटी प्रोफेसर को देखता है, नहीं तो एमआईटी साइट से जाके पढ़ता है. सो they know how to curate their activities. Now, second year में he decided कि पापा सब्जेक्ट में डेप्थ लाने के लिए क्या होगा. मैं बोला सब्जेक्ट में डेप्थ ला के क्या करना है, आप बताओ. मैं बोला गेट उठ बैठना है, इंजीनियरिंग सर्विस करना है तो गुड. सेकेंड ईयर में ही ज्वाइन फॉर द गेट. इस सेकेंड ईयर में एक बच्चा गेट ज्वाइन करेगा, हाउ मच परफॉर्मेंस ही कैन डू. I didn't object. I told it is his choice. Let him just face that. So he appeared. Some 56,000 rupees he spent in coaching also. But without knowing this subject, coaching से कितना ड्राफ्ट करोगे? Because you have not reached to that level. तो उसका बैच में कट ऑफ में शायद 25 ना 26 मार्क था कि 27 मार्क ऐसे कुछ कट ऑफ था. ये जस्ट वहां पहुंच गया सेकंड ईयर में. देन आई थॉट इसका कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग अभी हो गया, ये कहीं ना कहीं गेट में ले लेगा. जब सेकंड ईयर हो गया, मैं देखा सीडीएस प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, कमांड डिफेंस सर्विस. मैं बोला भाई तेरा गेट कहाँ गया? और गेट आउट नहीं जाऊंगा मैं तो डिफेंस जाऊंगा. क्योंकि ही गॉट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड विथ वन ऑफ माय कलीग्स सन हु वाज ए सिविल इंजीनियर इन पंजाब इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, एंड वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट दिस फेलो विल गो टू सम ब्रोकले और समथिंग टू डू एमएस. एंड ही कैंपस में वो डिफेंस हायर कर लिया और नाबाल में ज्वाइन किया. उसका बैच, उसका ड्रेस, रात में हितेश भैया के साथ गेम खेलना, हितेश का फ्रेंड्स उसको मोबिलाइज करना कि शिवराम तू ट्राई कर, इधर आ जा. देन सीडीएस. सो अगेन एज ए फादर आई वाज नोइंग दैट कि मैं उसको अपोज नहीं करना चाहिए. चलो डिफेंस एसएसबी देना चाहता है तो लेट हिम ट्राई फॉर द एसएसबी. तो एक दिन मैं ऐसे बात करते करते मैं बोला सुब्रांशु, हाउ मेनी टॉपर्स आर गोइंग टू डिफेंस सर्विस, हैव यू एनालाइज अबाउट? मेरे को तो नहीं लगता है, ये एवरेज स्टूडेंट्स सब जाते हैं करते हैं. तो यू हैव ए डिफरेंट स्ट्रेंथ, व्हाई डोंट यू थिंक इन ए डिफरेंट वे? Exactly 2 days after, I was in the dining table taking my dinner. He told पापा थोड़ा टाइम है. हाँ खाना खा रहे, बता ना कुछ दिखा रहा है. मैं बोला तब मैं वो सेंटर टेबल में आ जाता हूँ, तो उसमें दिखा दे मुझे. He showed me a video. That video is of a lieutenant general. This man started with this, addressing the audience. Student is telling, I forgot the name. कि my name is so and so. You know that I am a Major General now. My rank was in IIT Madras was 13. I am a Tamilian, and Tamilian have a moody things. After 1 month in computer science, I realized I am not fit for this post, this branch. I left this, went for NDA, joined NDA, and today I am here as this position. So I could get my answer that you are talking for the topper, not 13 rank computer science, Madras IIT. He left, he has come to the defense. I told you have answered me well. So now tell me as a father, what should I do? Now take me to urologist and take me to the orthopedics so that I want to verify myself that I am not medically unfit. So because of the father's position, I took them to one urologist. He told you are medically all right. Then I took him to the orthopedics. Orthopedics was my close friend. He was MS and now he is in 40s. So he was in 32 Medical College Hospital as a HOD. He started giving sermon to him. Subramsu, you should go for cyber intelligence. Yeah, if you want to help defense, you go in that. Why do you think of AK-47 holding? And ये आर्टिलरी में ना किस में जाना चाहता था, पूरा फ्रंट लाइन में जाना चाहता था. गाड़ी में जब बैठा बोला पापा इस टाइप का अंकल का पास मुझे मत लेना. I wanted to verify myself, not to demoralize myself. So now he was almost all ready for the defense services. Then he was the class representative and also taking care of his placement. So he was helping all his friends to get into this software company. Majority companies are software now, you know that core company तो आते ही नहीं है. So in his college he was helping. So उनका कॉलेज में एक कंपनी आता है, हर साल एक कंप्यूटर साइंस बच्चा को लेकर, सिंगल बच्चा नहीं तो 2 बच्चा लेता है, वो ज्यादा बच्चा नहीं लेता है. One of his teacher whom he likes, he came. He told Subramsu, तुम क्यों नहीं बैठता है किसमें? नहीं सर मैं डिफेंस में जाऊंगा, नहीं होगा तो मेरा सेकंड लाइन इज एमएस। मैं जेआरई स्कोर आल्सो हैज मैनेज्ड नाउ, मैं एमएस करने के लिए जाऊंगा। नहीं सुभ्रांशु, सम ऑफ योर फ्रेंड्स आर टेलिंग कि सुभ्रांशु का कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल लो है इसलिए वो प्लेसमेंट में नहीं बैठ रहे हैं। तो सर बोलने दीजिए, वो मेरा दोस्त लोगों जानते हैं मुझे, मैं नहीं बैठूंगा। When this company came, his teacher told सुभ्रांशु यार ये कंपनी ना लास्ट 4-5 years हुआ, एक स्टूडेंट 2 स्टूडेंट से ज्यादा नहीं लेता है, तू बैठ, इसको ब्रेक करना है। Then he told sir it is a full-fledged software development company and database चाहिए मेरे को पता नहीं है। नहीं तो बैठ ना। Then he pushed, then he went there, he qualified the first round because अच्छे स्टूडेंट कोडिंग जानते हैं, रोबोटिक्स में काम करता है, यही करते रहता था। He qualified first, second round, third round में उनका टॉप लेवल आ जाता है, कंप्यूटर साइंस वाले, यू नो दैट। तो उसमें डाटाबेस का एस्पेक्ट आया। Then he asked for a paper. Instead of doing the coding, he told, give me papers. By paper, I would write the logic first before going for the coding. तो लॉजिक लेके जब कंप्लीट किया, his team जो रिव्यू आए थे इंजीनियर, he told, okay, not required, do it. Next problem. So next problem was really tough. It was beyond his because it was more database driven. Then the tech lead that time came in. He was watching from distance. Then again he asked for the paper. पेपर लेके वो लॉजिक जब कंप्लीट किया, इसको कोडिंग करने के लिए नहीं दिए, बोले इट्स ओके फाइन। देन ही केम आउट, हिज टीचर टोल्ड सुभ्रांशु तेरा इंटरव्यू 1.5 hours हुआ है, तेरे को मिलेगा। नहीं सर मैं 2 में सिर्फ लॉजिक लिख के आया हूँ। अल्टीमेटली गॉट सिलेक्टेड, placed in IT Park, Chandigarh. Subhay, now internship is 6 months completely. So he joined that company as an intern. They now PPO में convert करेंगे, but he will not continue. That is what he has already taken a decision. So he joined, but he got that exposure of industry. सुबह 9 बजे भाग के जाना, 8:30-9 बजे आके फिर क्लाइंट का प्रेशर है तो काम करो रात में। 3 months का बाद, his mentor is a NIT Surotkal person. In that company, a lot of IITians and this NITs people are there. So this NIT fellow is for last 4 years he is in that company. एक दिन इसको बुला रहे सुभ्रांशु तेरा कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल इतना कैसे हाई है यार, तू पूरा मेन फ्रेम में जाके 3 महीना में मेन फ्रेम में प्रोग्रामिंग चेंज कर रहा है, वो तो क्रॉस करेगा तो so many clients will be affected by that. ये तो 1 साल तक मैं सिर्फ इस रैक को देखते रहता था, मेरा बैकग्राउंड भी कंप्यूटर है, मैं 1 साल तक सिर्फ रैक देख रहा था, और तू 3 months में जाके सीधा सॉफ्टवेयर में बैठ गया है, डायरेक्टली वहां चेंज कर रहा है। बोला सर ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, 20,000 को फिर मैं रिकलेक्ट करके करना है ना, 20,000 लाइन तक मेरे को याद रह जाता है, मैं कर दूंगा। सो नाउ आफ्टर दैट ऑल्सो नाउ ही हैज रियलाइज्ड, नाउ आई एम सीइंग दैट he is in that stage to take a decision कि मेरे को सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी में डेवलपर रहना नहीं है। कहीं ना कहीं उसका मन में है कि डिफेंस छोड़ के गलत किया है, बट नाउ उसका जो सिस्टर है शी इज बीटेक मैकेनिकल एंड जेवियर से MBA करके नाउ इन टाटा, सो शी इज एरिया बिजनेस मैनेजर नाउ इन अहमदाबाद, जस्ट 2 years सीनियर टू हिम। सिस्टर उसका बाइस कर रहा है कि आई एम अहमदाबाद में आ,